Hey Chris, Mike here, Keller Williams Realty. So just wanted to go ahead and remake of the video of my market analysis. Like I said before, I think it's easier if I record a video and I can show you on my computer screen a little bit about how we do a market analysis and how um, realtors go ahead and value homes and how we find out how to price a home. So um, I found your house when you purchased it. Got the listing right here. So you purchased it back in April of 2010. It's a Quality Craft Home, which is a builder out here in El Paso. Pretty good builder. They're no longer in existence now. They went out about 5 years ago. When I first started real estate in 2012, we were the listing agent for Quality Craft. We worked really close for them, sold a bunch of their houses, but then the company dissolved. So um, you purchased the home back in April of 2010, brand new for 124,950 using the VA loan. It's a 4 bedroom, 2 bath home, and I see it's 1463 square feet with refrigerated air. Okay, so that's important because all of that criteria is what I'm going to use to search in our MLS, in our multiple listing service, to use to compare against other homes that have, number one, have sold recently within the past 6 months, and number two, that are currently on the market. I want to know first and foremost what's our competition out there, who's competing against us in this square footage in this location, and then number two, obviously, what has actually sold, because listing a home for one amount and actually selling for another amount are two different things. Okay, so it's all in the negotiations and pricing it correctly. I don't know if your tenant is still living there or if they're going to move out or if they're on a month to month basis. I do list a lot of homes with tenants, in the home. It just depends on if they're going to be cooperative, how clean are they going to keep the property. We always want to have that property showing clean inside and out. If you remember the photograph I sent to you when I cruised by about a month or 2 months ago, it did need a little bit of yard work in the front yard. I haven't been able to see the backyard. Um, but if I can get a meeting at least with the tenants to get in there and just kind of take a real quick inspection, I want to see if like carpets are cleaned, if there's anything broken, if the walls are all nicked up, or if they have children, sometimes kids write on them and stuff like that I've seen. So I need to see kind of things like that to be able to price the home correctly. But overall, I'm going to give us a good I guess a good value and analysis of that home. And I'm familiar with that style of home. Like I said, we were the listing agent for them, so I've seen that kind of home. I know that style. They build them all over Mesquite Hills, which is that subdivision that the house is in. So I know what it can sell for, and I'll show you right here on some examples. Okay, um, if the tenant is on a month to month basis, that's even better because it usually takes about 30 days for a buyer, once he's under contract, to um, go through the financing and close on the home. Right now, this in the area of Mesquite Hills, the average days on market for homes that are priced again correctly, you're looking at about 32 days, if they're on the market, and before they'll take on a contract. And then from there, it's that additional 30 days for the buyer's financing. In that time, the buyer's going to go through a home inspection of the house. He has to pay for that. The buyer is responsible for that. That's usually about $200 to $300. It's a 2 to 3 hour process, and then after that, the buyer will get a huge report about 30 pages long of all the deficiencies of the home, from the roof down to the foundation. From there, we negotiate to see, what's wrong with the home. We'll get a copy of the inspection report so I can show you, and we can review that, and then I'll show you how to negotiate that as well. Um, After that, then if the buyer decides to proceed with the home, if we can come to an agreement, then we'll go. The buyer will order the appraisal of the home through his lender. The lender will put the order for an appraisal in an appraisal pool, in which case appraisers will dip into it, and then they'll go ahead and take on the appraisal. That whole process, like I said, takes about 30 days to do. Buyers are responsible for the appraisal. The appraisals right now are running about $8 to $1,000, depending on which type of loan that they're going for. The VA loans, which are the strongest loans, those are about $1,000 for the appraisal. The buyer's responsible for that. If the home does not appraise, then the buyer is obligated to show us a copy of that report. He's got to prove it to us that it didn't appraise, and I'll be able to look at the report and look at the comps, the comparables, kind of like what I'm going to show you right here, right now. The appraiser uses the same comparables that I'm going to show us here today. He dips into the same MLS system and pulls the same comps in there for us that I'm going to show you today. Okay, there's certain criteria that appraisers use to determine the value of a home, and that's the criteria that I like to use. I talk to a lot of appraisers in El Paso. This is my 12th year in real estate, so I know a lot of everybody in the industry. I mean, from inspectors to appraisers, title companies, everybody. So I know, and just in talking to them, what their criteria is looking for. And this is how they do it. So they go to the actual subdivision that the house is located in, which is in this case called Mesquite Hills. He will then go and pull homes that have sold in the past 6 months that are comparable in size to the subject home, which your home would be considered the subject home. He pulls homes that are within 200 square feet of the size of your home. So again, your home is 1,463 square feet. So he'll pull homes up or down of 200 square feet of that size. He'll also pull homes that have built within 5 years of when your home was built. So your home was built in 2009. So he'll go as low as 2004 and then as high as 2014. He'll pull that range of homes. He'll also pull homes that have refrigerated air only. As we know, refrigerated air adds value to a home versus a swamp cooler or an evaporative cooler. So he'll pull all of those general specifics to give a good value of the home and say, okay, yeah, they have a contract for, let's say, $215, then this home is worth $215 or it's not. And then that's all based on the amenities that the home has. Like if it's got granite countertops, if it's got like a landscape backyard and front yard, that adds value to a home. Any pergolas that are in the backyard, if the garage has been epoxied, the flooring, just a bunch of different things will give it a little bit more intrinsic value. If it's got shutters, wood shutters, things like that. So let's go ahead and now take a look at what I found. Okay, I'm hoping we can see my screen. I know it's a little difficult, but I'm going to do the best that I can. And let's see. Okay, so what I did is I looked into our multiple listing service and I put those criteria into it, and it populated 13 homes that some are currently on the market right now. That would be our competition. And the remaining are homes that have already sold within the past 6 months. There hasn't been a whole lot of homes that sold in the past 6 months, so I had to go back to a year. Okay. Now, the reason why we don't go back more than 6 months, appraisers feel that, and so do we as real estate agents, the real estate market is always changing. So, for example, what happened in 2022 after COVID, I mean, people were paying $10,000 and $20,000 over asking price just to beat out the next buyer because there was a limited number of homes and buyers were having to compete. So that kind of threw the market off a little bit, but it has kind of lingered on, and it's good for sellers right now in this time because homes are now worth a little bit more than they would have pre-COVID. Okay, so for instance, there's these 3 homes here that you can see these photographs of, these 3 homes here. Okay, this is our competition right now. These are what's currently on the market today in Mesquite Hills that are within the same year built and size of your home. Okay, this first home here on the top list here is listed at $225,770. Okay, it is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home. It's 1,565 square feet, so bigger than ours. by about 100 square feet. In terms of size, 100 square feet, a simple garage, a two-car garage, is 200 square feet roughly. So 100 square feet would be about a half a garage. So it's that much bigger. It was built in 2011, so it's 1 year newer than ours, but it does have the refrigerated air. Um, and that house just popped on the market here. Well, actually, no, it's been on the market here for days on market 69 days. Okay, 69 days, and it's priced at 225. I think the reason why is because definitely it's priced too high. Okay, but if you look at some of the interior photographs and things like that, um, first of all, when you are selling a home, you want to put your best foot forward, right? So when I do my marketing, I hire my own professional photographer, and that comes at my expense. It's about $200 to $300 for a photo shoot, and I'm there at the house, and I will tell the tenants, if anybody's living in there, please remove your cars from the driveway. I don't want any cars in the driveway. I don't want these water hoses just laying on the ground like that, because it doesn't look very presentable, right? But if we look more into the home, I mean, look at this front door. You've got some Windex right here laying there. I mean, things like that need to be put away. Um, Here's the inside of the house. They've got the Christmas tree. Let me see here. Okay. Okay. This home has been on the market for 70 days. They've got the Christmas tree on there. It just looks a little bit cluttered. They have laminate countertops. Okay, so laminate countertops, they don't really add a whole lot of value. Um, the cabinets are just basic. They haven't been painted or upgraded. No stainless steel appliances. The bathrooms are also laminate. Um, you see how the home shows in these photographs? It's kind of like, gosh, they want 225, but it doesn't look appealing. You can't really see the home. It just looks real cluttered. So I go in there, and hopefully if the tenants are willing, then they'll cooperate. I'll get a vibe off of them once I talk to them and see how willing they are, and then I can report back to you. Or maybe the tenants are already moving out. Um, Look at these bathrooms. You see, I don't like to have things like this on the countertops, all these mirrors and toothpaste, toothbrushes and all that, and the towel hanging here. That just doesn't look good. So the closet looks like a mess, but you've got the tub full of stuff. So this has a lot to do with marketing a home and putting your best foot forward, right? Um, okay. So you can't really see the house for what it is, and the garage looks like it's been a built-out man cave in there. Um, Cowboy fan. And the backyard. The backyard doesn't have much landscaping. It's just basically rock, and then you got a concrete pad right there. It doesn't look too appealing, right? So that's probably the reason why this house has been on the market for so long, is because it's, number one, it's priced too high, and it just doesn't look well. It doesn't shoot very well at all. Um, I feel like he is priced too high. Sometimes sellers, even though we show them our analysis and all the data and everything to back it up, sometimes sellers just say, you know what, I don't care. This is the price that I want, and let's put it on the market, and the house will just sit. It'll just sit there. If you think about it, 70 days, he's already put 2 mortgage payments on there, and he's on his third, so 3. Okay. The next house, this house is a good representation of a house that is going to sell quickly. Okay. This home is at 7032 Coppertown Drive. It is listed at 219,999, so 220. It is 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1441 square feet, and built in 2012. So this is a good comparable to ours because it's 2 years newer, but it's around the same square footage. Also with refrigerated air. But this house has only been on the market for 4 days. Okay, 4 days. That's This house, I'm anticipating it's going to go quick because it looks super clean. I already checked it out. But look at the front yard. Okay. So it's got the artificial turf right there, and then you've got this pony wall right here with two trees, two planter boxes with trees in there. The driveway is clean. It's not oil cluttered or anything like that. There's the front door. You've got ceramic tile flooring in here. That's the best you could ever get. It beats laminate and carpet. Right now, people are going to a lot of ceramic tile. You see how this home is well staged? It's clean. It looks open. They've got shipley decoration here on this wall in the kitchen. They went ahead and replaced this lighting fixture up here. It's like a farmhouse type lighting fixture. They blacked out the cabinets on stainless steel appliances, which looks pretty good. And then they've got quartz countertops. Okay, they put track lighting up here as well. A real nice refrigerator. See, it just looks real clean. Look, notice how the countertops are clean. They don't have much stuff on there at all. That's the best way to showcase a home. Here is the master bedroom with an accent wall on carpet. The beds are made. This home's gonna go quick. I'm gonna watch it. I'm just curious to see how fast it goes. It belongs to a soldier. I work with a lot of military as well. I've always worked for USAA and Navy Federal as a military relocation specialist. That's what I've done since 2012. Everything in its place, everything neat and orderly. They did a little bit of decor in this room here and on the wall. Look at that backyard. Beautiful turf. It's clean. It's just got a barbecue grill and that's it. Then you got a pergola out here on a concrete pad. Yeah, this house is going to go quick. These people made the effort to make this home look great. And that's kind of what we want, is so that we can get top dollar and so that we can sell it fast. Because obviously every time that the house is on the market, and especially if it's vacant, you're going to be paying a mortgage payment, and that eats into your equity. The good news is that you have a lot of equity in this house, and I'll show you the numbers here shortly. And so that's our competition right now. That house, okay, that house right there is only 4 days on the market. Now here's another home that is under contract, but it is accepting backup offers. The reason why it's accepting backup offers is because it's pending under a contingency, which means the buyer, in order to buy this house, he's got to sell his own home first. That leaves it open to another buyer. If another buyer swoops in and can buy this house without having to sell a house, then this first buyer in first position would get kicked out, and the second buyer would take it. This home here is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,394 square feet, so about 60 square feet smaller than yours. It was built in 2008, so it's 1 year older than yours, and it is priced at $200,000. Okay. It has been on the market and under contract for 122 days. So it's under a contingency, which means, like I said, they have to sell a house to buy this one. Okay. This home is priced pretty aggressively. That's really aggressive price, 200 grand. He doesn't have granite countertops. He's got the Formica. He's got laminate flooring there in the living room, which I really don't like, because if you've ever stepped on laminate flooring, it just sounds, hollow. It sounds real cheap. And eventually it'll start popping up. The backyard, nothing fancy. He's got some grass. He's got some grass growing through the rocks. And then he's got a bunch of rock. Same thing in the front yard. So you see, it's reflective, and the driveway, is stained. So it's reflective of its price. It's priced well, and that's why he's under contract. But you can see that homes that have been on the market for 70 days or whatnot, they're priced too high. No one's looking at it. It's growing stale on the market. People have forgotten about that home already. Okay, so those three homes there are competition. Then the next set of homes is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 other homes. We won't go through them all, but there's 10 other homes that have sold within the past 6 to 9 months. I'm sorry, 6 to 12 months. But here's the prices, and I'm going to give you a quick rundown real quickly so you can see the prices of what they're selling. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,536 square feet. It's sold for $205,000. And that one sold in April of 23. The next home is 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,491 square feet, built in 2008, and that one sold for $215,000 back in May of 23. The next home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,535 square feet. It was built in 2011. It sold for $215,500 in July of 23. The next home, which is pretty close to yours in terms of size in comparison, is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,373 square feet, built in 2008, and it sold for $204,000. That was back in July of 23. 8 days on the market. Okay. The other home before that sold 5 days on the market. The other home before that sold 11 days on the market. And the other home, 5 days on the market. You see, so these homes were priced correctly for what they're showing, in between 205 to like 210. The higher end ones that sold for 215, they had, the whole 9 yards, the front yard, backyard landscape with the artificial turf and everything else. Here's another one here on Auburn Sands, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,540 square feet, sold for $210,000 in 11 days, and that one sold for cash back on September of 23. So you can kind of get a range, from about 205 up to 215. Just in looking at the front of the home and knowing what I know of your home, again, I don't know if you have granite countertops. I don't know if you have ceramic tile, if it's been painted inside, if it needs carpet cleaning or not, if the backyard is landscaped. I don't know any of those situations, but just in kind of looking, I would recommend, if you want to sell the home quickly, get it under contract, and get in and get out, I would recommend we list at $210,000 and we sell anywhere between 205 to 210. Okay. If it had landscaping in the front and back, I would probably say 215. Okay. This is a seller's net sheet. It's an estimate, but it's a pretty good estimate. It's very close. This estimate includes all of the real estate fees, which we charge the standard 6% at Keller Williams, 6% to sell the home. And the way it gets divvied up is 3% to the buyer's agent. Whoever brings us a buyer, he gets 3% of that. And then me as the listing agent, my broker would get 3% minus my split. So I'm on an 80-20 split. So I'll get 80% of the 3%. Now, also, because you went through HomeLight Services, when HomeLight refers you to me, and if I sell the house, then HomeLight gets 30% of my 3% split, commission split. So on this one, I'm going to give away about 40% of my 3% commission on my side. And that's okay. I don't mind. I mean, I do help out a lot of the military. Like I said, you're military. I appreciate your service, and I don't mind doing that. I'll make it up on the next house. If we sell this house for $210,000, okay, with the real estate fees and your balance right now, you said you have about $128,000 balance on the home at a 5.5% interest rate. You're looking at walking away with $65,288, okay? total net. That's what you would walk away with after you've paid um, the bank for the loan and the real estate fees and the title company fees. Um, there's going to be an additional about $1,500 that would be coming to you from your mortgage company, and that's going to be for your escrows, which escrows are the property taxes and the insurance that the bank has collected from you on your mortgage payments from January 1st of this year through the day that we close on this home, which if we were to list it today, I estimated it would close in about a month. I would say we'd sell it um, at the end of March or close at the beginning of April. Then you would get about $1,500 additional from your mortgage company. That comes from your mortgage company. They once they know that the note has been paid off, they'll send you your escrows directly to you, and then that's an additional 1,500 on top of what you would make from selling the home, which you see right here is 65,288. Okay. Um, Everything can be done over the internet, as far as like DocuSign and whatnot. We use digital signature here with our title companies, and everything is like emailed to a mobile notary wherever you live, and the mobile notary will print that out, and they'll go to your house or they'll go to your office wherever you want to meet. You can meet at a Starbucks, and they'll have you sign everything. They'll notarize it, and then they'll mail all the documents back to us overnight. And then once we get them the next day, um, the transaction will be funded, meaning you'll have money in hand. So that's how we do it. Now, there is a small fee for that. It's about $150 to send a mobile notary out to you, and that's just deducted from your proceeds from the $65,000 that you're going to make. They'll just take it from there and then pay off the notary, and then they'll wire you the rest. It'll be a wire transfer. Um, After that, you'll alert your mortgage company within 30 days to send your escrows to you. You want to give them an updated address, because if you don't, they're going to mail you the check to your house address. Okay, so you just give them a call. You told me, look, I sold the house yesterday. We closed on it. Here's my new address. Please send me my escrows immediately. Um, a little bit of history on myself. I've been in the market for in the industry for about 12 years now. I started off with Coldwell Banker. I'm a top producer in the industry. There's about 3,000 of us here in El Paso. Lots of newbies. There's been a lot of new kids, young kids, that have jumped into the real estate market simply because they saw how 2022 was, that everything was selling quick. They don't have much knowledge. They don't have much knowledge at all. They don't know how to negotiate. They don't know about marketing a home. It's not just about putting a house on the market and letting it sit. I mentor 3 realtors in my office, and I usually sit them at my open houses. I'll have an open house for them, usually on Saturdays or Sundays for about 3 to 4 hours. I'll broadcast it all over social media and whatnot, and then we'll go ahead and have the open house. If we price it right, I think the house will sell like we were just seeing right there on the analysis. Homes are selling within 5 to 11 days last year. This year's a little bit more, not tougher, but buyers are fighting against these high interest rates. So the only way to combat that is to help them a little bit by giving them a little bit of a seller concession, which means the seller contributes to their closing costs, and it will help that buyer either pay their closing costs, number one, or number two, it'll help that buyer buy down their interest rate, which makes them able to afford that home. Here, when you purchased your home, Quality Craft, they paid for your closing costs, because that's what new builders do. They foot the whole bill. It takes about 3% of whatever the home sells for a buyer to come up with as their closing costs, which go to their lender to process the transaction. On top of that, then if they're not using the VA loan, say they're using the FHA loan, then the buyer would have to come up with his own down payment. Down payment is about 3.5% of whatever the house is priced at. That's the down payment that the buyer has to come up with, number one. And then number two would be their closing costs. So those two items there are what buyers are having to come up with. We can contribute a little bit since you have a lot of equity in this home, and it just comes straight off of your proceeds. Okay, it just comes out of that 65. So say the buyer says, you know what, I'm going to give you full price. I'm not going to ask for any repairs on the home, and I just need a little bit of help to help buy down my interest rate, or maybe I need help for closing costs. Can you spare maybe $2,000, maybe $3,000, something like that? And we just take it off take it off the top, as they say. And I'll be able to calculate net sheets along the way. Any offers that come in, I have 24 hours to present those to you, and then we have to respond within usually about 48 hours or 72 hours. We want to respond quick because houses are always coming out on the market, and we don't want a buyer to find another house that he likes and say, oh, forget this one, I'm going to go to that new one that just came out. So we got to act quick. We got to strike hard, strike fast. That's pretty much it. Other than that, they just go through they have 7 days or 10 days option period to get the home inspected at their cost, and then they'll see what kind of deficiencies the home has. Maybe it's got roof leaks, maybe it's got foundation repairs that are needed, maybe stucco is cracked and peeling and cracked off. That's very common with these kind of homes. I own a stucco home. I paint my home every 5 years because it just helps protect the integrity of the stucco. So there's a lot of things that we will do, and I'll show you how to negotiate that to get you ultimately the best price and to get the house sold. Okay, so definitely would like to work with you. Super interested. The market is heating up earlier this year than it has in the previous years. Normally, we don't get started till about March. I have been super busy since February, and that's because interest rates have come down a little bit, about half a point to 0.75 points. So that means there's a lot of buyers that were on the fence have now jumped into the market. So that's pretty good. We're not really seeing multiple offer situations anymore. That was gone since 2022. It's very few offers these days. It's usually like 1 to 3 offers that come in before we have to decide. After that, the house just goes stale on the market. But I'll let you know, what offers seem good, and how the buyers are. I know most of the realtors here in El Paso. There's a lot of us veterans out here and that are seasoned, that we know each other. We know how to work well with each other. It's all about striking a good deal. It's just like the man says. It's the art of the deal, right? So it's just about making a good deal for both sides, and that's the way I am. I'm very fair. I do not like to take advantage of anybody, of any side. Both sides have to feel like they're winning to be able to win the war, and that's just kind of the way that I operate. So any questions you have, give me a call. Thanks.